there. I hope you're having a beautiful day. I'm Becky North, and I'm here with my favorite flaming gal, Lacey Verbick. How are you today, Lacey?
Becky, I'm doing great. And, here's hoping that I'm still great.
Cheers.
Later today, got a big important work event this afternoon. So looking forward to it. The weather's looking beautiful. So it should be a great event. How about you?
I am doing fantastic. I'm utterly exhausted, like I think most parents are this time of year, as like sports are coming to an end, school's coming to an end, all of those things. It's been a huge, huge weekend here in our house with events. And we have the wrap of that today, and we've got the joy of spending some time with family. And I am just feeling very, very blessed today.
Ah, amazing. I saw that beautiful little girl of yours hit the stage. She was incredible. Way to go,
Mm.
Kay. Love you. Whoop, whoop.
Go ahead and find your cozy corner, grab your favorite drink, and let's hang out for just a bit.
Today, we're diving into the wide world of mom rage and managing anger. Because let's be honest, we've all felt that bubbling frustration when the laundry's never ending. Someone's melting down again. And your kid throws out a half hearted sorry like it's a magic eraser. But their tone and body language scream, I'm not actually sorry. Oh, Becky, this is such this is going to be cathartic for me. I have had the wildest week, and boy, I have been so mad
Mm.
lately, and hence the title of this particular episode. I was so mad. Do you remember, Becky, the adorable little books from our childhood? Was called, I think it was called Little Critter. Was
I
the character
love.
name? The
Mhm,
author was Mercer Mayer. Do you remember
mhm.
these? He was a cute little
Yes.
brown guy, and there was a whole series of books around
Mhm.
his this little fellow. And the one of the favorite books that I had in that series was called I Was So Mad, and it was about teaching kids to control emotions and work with anger and things like that. And it came up. It came up for me this past week. That book came to mind when I was having a total mom meltdown, if I'm being honest. After I discovered that my daughter had not taken care of something really important, and um, I was in the midst of my spinning out. I remembered that book, and I was like, yeah, that is exactly how I feel. I am just so mad. Like it was funny that there weren't like F bombs and screaming and adult language or anything else. It was just me, like literally just like almost in a childish way. Like,
Mm.
I am just so mad. Like the kind of like fist stomping, foot stomping, just so mad. So anyway, I'll tell you the story. I won't make you wait any longer. I'll tell you the story. So this past week, so my daughter's in college. I think most of you know that now. She spent last semester overseas in the UK and in various places. And she came back from that towards the end of April. So she had about 3 weeks with us at home before she was headed back to her summer internship where she goes to school. So she left yesterday. And let me back up a few days from that. We were helping her pack, and she was, trying to go through a 20-year-old's version of preparing and organizing and packing her belongings. And of course, she waited until like the very last minute to do that. But she did start, and as she was working through that process, I was helping her move some boxes and pull some things in and out, and I discovered a little blue plastic clamshell. Most of you moms probably know what this is, what I'm about to say. Yeah, so found this little blue plastic clamshell, and I was like, oh, that's familiar. Wonder what's in there. So I pull it out, I open it up, and sure enough, her retainers are in there, top and bottom. And she has those, they're orthodontic retainers that were given to her when her orthodontic treatment was complete. She had braces back, way back in high school, and she's had these. She's been done with her braces treatment for like 2.5 years or so, and she's had these retainers, and she was told to wear these retainers until you're 25. That you should wear these at night until you're 25 because your bone structure is not entirely locked in until a certain age. I guess that age is
Mm-hmm.
25. And so she knew that she was supposed to do that. She didn't the whole time that she was overseas, which was almost 5 months, because the retainers were at home in our garage, packed in a bin. So, surprise! Her orthodontic treatment is now jacked and really not recoverable. Because in my anger in that moment, I made her try them on. I'm like, oh, well, look what I found. Retainers. Oh, what were they doing out here in my garage? Does I don't understand this. Does that mean, Neva, that you didn't have these retainers when you were overseas? And she of course gave me the deer in headlights, the shock look, like, oh God, mom's about to lay into me. And she's like, yeah, I'm sorry, mom. The whole like fake bullshit. I'm sorry, mom. Like, you're not sorry. You're sorry for the ass whooping you're about to get, but you're not sorry, right? And of course, I
Yeah.
don't give ass whoopings. It's just a fun word, okay, to say. But yeah, go ahead, Becky. You have a comment there?
I no, I just want to say, like,
Mm-hmm.
girl, like, I think it's funny because we always have some conversation before the podcast, and we had some, and I had written something down here, and I was like, interesting that that is what came up, because my immediate reaction as your friend and as a fellow mom and all of that was like, you've got to be freaking kidding me, right?
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
man, we spent, like, and whether it's retainers or whether it's, you left your football cleats outside, or it's like hairspray sprayed in the dance bag, or it's, it doesn't, like, there are like a million things that could be, but it still is like, can you not see the importance
Yes.
of this?
Yes.
Right?
Well,
Like,
yeah, I mean, it's a long-term importance too. Like, it's one thing, okay, they ruin shoes can be replaced. You can't replace your you well, yeah, you can't replace your teeth, that's true. But you can't replace your, like, okay, well, you can replace your teeth, but you don't want to, right? Like, we don't have to go down that rabbit hole. But anyway,
yeah.
what I mean is, you once your teeth are in a correct position with a specialist orthodontist who knows how to put your teeth in a particular position, that you're not going to go through that orthodontic treatment again before
Right.
you're 25, at least,
Yeah.
and because I'm certainly not paying for it again. So,
Well, and
but
it's the time too. Like, you both put time and energy
mm,
into appointments and to,
mhm,
like, all of those things, and
for years,
money and
for
money,
years.
right? Like, we all know, even with great insurance, those things are still not cheap,
Hmm.
right? And I think I sometimes, in those situations with my kids, now I've not had like situations with retainers, but I have the like, you don't even know. Like,
Mm-mm.
like, do you know how many other things I could have done with that money? Like,
Yes.
do you
Oh.
know how many, like, I don't want to say entitlement, but sometimes it feels a little like, maybe that is the word that's coming up for me,
Uh-huh.
is
Yes.
entitlement. And that, Lacey, really truly was my initial reaction, like, as your friend, when I heard that. But then, like, what I got told, as like, because we always spend a couple of minutes like writing notes right before we record, and you guys have heard us talk about that a lot, but like,
Yeah.
what I heard literally was, anger often shows up instead of other things. Are you really angry, or are you hurt?
Mm. Mm-hmm. Oh, Becky, you always have a way of putting me putting me down in my seat with your inspiration. You're that's amazing. And yeah, I mean, I'm absolutely hurt. Yeah. 100%, because I feel like the investment that we chose to prioritize for her long-term benefit, right? To for her
Mhm.
to to help her put her best foot forward in the rest of her life, because
Mm,
she has an amazing smile, right? Like it's
mhm,
a part of, for me it's deeply connected to self-esteem.
mhm,
For me, your smile is one of the first things, your eyes and your smile is one of the first things people see, right? It's
mhm.
I mean it's how it's 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 connected to how you show up in the world, I think. And
Yeah.
other people may agree or disagree, but and I had a lot of tooth stuff growing up, and I still have tooth stuff, but just kind of a problematic, um I don't know. I just have problematic teeth, I guess. But coming up as a child, my parents did everything they knew how to do and worked with every dentist and doctor they knew how to make my teeth straight and beautiful and functional. And back then braces was a thing, but it was a very it was nearly unattainable then. I mean, the
Mhm,
cost was exceptional, and there weren't that many doctors out treating it, and just didn't seem to be a priority in in the grand scheme of a person's healthcare. And so braces were not something that was possible for me, but I had my parents did every kind of orthodontic appliance they could come up with. And I mean, I had the expandable retainers. I had all the things. My parents invested a lot of time, a lot of energy and money into getting my teeth worked out and as beautiful as possible. And while people tell me I have a nice smile today, I and my teeth are probably as good as they've ever been. They're not straight, and they're kind of wonky, and and it's a source of self-conscious. I mean, I'm self-conscious about it. It's something I don't love about myself. When I look in the mirror, it's the first thing I see,
mm.
right? And I know every mom listening to everybody listening to this can relate to that. We all have that one thing, right?
Yeah.
Or
Agreed.
maybe we have multiple things, but at least we have that one thing. And for me, this was a way that my doing this orthodontic process and making this investment for my daughter was a way for me to do better than I had, to give something
Mm,
to her better than I had to give, to to put, I eliminated a struggle
mhm,
for her that I have, that I still have, that that I don't love. And I felt like it was a yeah, it felt absolutely critical that she have that.
mhm.
And her whole basically blowing this up and disregarding the aftercare piece. I think I'm so upset about it because I she had an opportunity that I never had, and yet she doesn't give a shit about
I think, Lacey, you hit on something so beautiful because I think that as parents, we all generally want to give our kids better than what we had. And it doesn't, like, that doesn't mean that what we had wasn't amazing, right? Like,
it.
I
Mm-hmm.
mean, you guys have heard me talk about my childhood and stuff like that before. And, Lacey, a lot more. But like, gosh, I was talking with my kids this week about like, man, I did some cool things as a kid. Like I did like things that normal kids don't do, right? Like and so it's not about like, oh, it was bad or it was awful. It's that we want to we want to give more. We want to provide more, right? Like, and
Yeah.
I think fundamentally that's something that really kind of every parent has. I want it to be different than it was for me,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because
Yeah.
it's really easy for us to see the things we don't love about us. It's really easy
Yeah.
for us to see the things that we wish would have been different. It's really easy for us to, and in some ways, I might say we are programmed to see it like that easier than we are to see maybe the good, like that it's easier. It's not really any easier. I think it's just the lens in which things are being filtered for us to like look back and be like, oh, that sucked so bad, or this is what I don't love about me, or this or that. And we want to give our kids better. We want to give them different, right? And we want them to give their kids better and to give them different, right? And this constant evolution through that all. And so I think like that was another thing that came for me was like when we're angry, it's about finding the heart of why,
Mm.
right? Because
Mhm.
like anger is a big emotion. It's a really, really big emotion. And like the thing is it takes root really deeply. So like when you are doing any kind of like personal work around emotions and stuff, normally they tap into anger first because it's like we have to clear this block to
Mhm.
be able to clear the others because it's like the
Yes.
stopping point, right? It's like the everything else slams into anger. And so oftentimes we are angry, but it's not anger, right? It's hurt because we didn't feel heard. Like the story that came up for me about like most recently when I was just so angry with my kids was like, and I'm not even with them, but with a situation, right? I was like, so we have two rooms in our upstairs, two bedrooms, and all of our bedrooms have like the fan that the builders put in still, right? Like, and I wouldn't say I love them, but they're functional and it works and it, right? So we have a guest room up there, and then we have my daughter's room. And we were getting ready for company to be here, and they are like, Mom, the light isn't working. Well, apparently the lights in both rooms, the fans are still working in both rooms, okay? But the lights have not been working, and they have not been working for weeks. Now, I'm like, okay, that's definitely on me. I should have been like, right? But my daughter didn't want to tell me because her room was a freaking disaster and she didn't want to get in trouble.
Uh-oh.
So I'm
Mhm.
like, we could have had a fire. Like, what if this was an electrical problem? And you're like, I don't want to get in trouble for not cleaning up all of my art stuff.
Mhm.
So my husband goes up and he's like, okay, well, I'm going to troubleshoot. So he's in one room because they're like, they went out at the same time. So they don't
Oh.
share a switch, but they do share a wall, right? But I'm like,
Yep.
and we're both like, but the fans are working, but the lights aren't. And I'm like, on Google, like,
Yeah.
which apparently that's a thing. A lot of times, sometimes the wire casings in like the fan itself can get loose and make the lights not work. But the fact that both rooms went out at the same time. So my husband is troubleshooting and he's finally like, I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. He's like, I'm gonna call dad, right? Because his
Yeah.
dad is like a master of all things. Um and he lives close, right? Like, and
Yeah.
um, like, yeah, he's really great around the house. And so he's like, I'm gonna call dad and see if he can help. Well, it just happened that they showed up to our son's football game that day. We were able to talk to him about it. They're on vacation, and he's like, I'll come by after vacation. So it's been like a whole week now. We're getting ready for dance recitals. Yeah, again, getting the house ready for company and all of that. And my husband's like, I'm gonna take another look at it through a different lens now, right? Like, because we were both
Okay.
pretty angry, right? Because I'm
Yeah.
like, how can you have not had lights? I mean, they have lamps and stuff, but like your light didn't work for weeks and you not
Mhm.
say anything, right? Like, and I hear that out loud and I'm like, it's so ridiculous. But like, so he goes up and he comes back down and he goes, well, I figured it out. And I was like, okay, tell me, what was it? Because I was ready to like send him these Reddit threads that I found, and he's like, we're gonna
Ah!
fix these lights, and we're going to buy new ones or that. But like the big thing was like that both rooms went out, and he goes, well, somehow my daughter is missing one of the pull chains from her light, and apparently they had knocked the other one off when they were farting around in there, and when they put it back up they put it on the wrong pull, so my husband's trying to pull the chain and
Oh,
he's pulling the chain for the fan. Okay,
yeah.
so her lights are working again because he had like taken out the light bulbs in her room and he brought them to another light, and we're like, they still work, we tried new light bulbs, like it wasn't working. And he goes, but I didn't ever troubleshoot the other room because they both went out at the same time, and I was like, this is beyond my skill set, and it was just that the other room's lights were burnt out.
Oh.
Right?
Uh-huh.
And so now today I can laugh about this, but a week ago when they're like, no, we don't have lights in our two rooms upstairs, I'm like, what the actual fuck,
Yeah.
Batman? Like,
Yeah.
like,
Uh-huh.
are you kidding me? But
Company's coming.
yeah,
Hello.
right. But I'm like, that is exactly it, right? Like when I sit back and I
Mm,
look at it, I'm like, oh gosh,
mm.
we had company here both weekends that was on. And it was like this sense of embarrassment. I hated having people at my house with my parents when I was younger, right? Like I really had one friend that I had over all the time, and I was at her house all the time. We kind of took turns living with each other, but like there was a sense of embarrassment because they lived a very different kind of lifestyle than I live with my family. And,
Mhm.
and they smoked, and that was really common in that time, but our house always smelled like smoke, and and it just like there was a lot of embarrassment for that. So I find that I'm like, oh God, people are coming. Right. And
Yep.
like, it doesn't matter how clean my house is or isn't. I have 3 kids. We are in a ton of activities. We have 3 dogs. Our house is lived in, right? It's not dirty, but I'm like looking yesterday and I'm like, how is there so much dust when we just dusted?
Yeah.
Like, it just, I don't know how it happens. It's like the dirty fairies come, you hear about like the cleaning fairy. I think I have little fairies that come and dirty our house, right? Like, and I don't mean on like but I just mean like on a
Mhm.
bigger, broader level, right? But I do
Mhm.
have feelings
Yeah.
about like, oh gosh, the people pleaser in me is like, oh gosh, I have to make sure it's this because I have a persona and I even will be like to my best friends, my house is really lived in right now. So like, yes, you can come, but the bed's not made and I'm sorry,
Mm.
right? When really like, you know what? My daughter's room is typically a mess because she is a creative child who loves to live in that world. And we are able to supply her that,
Mhm.
right? My boys' room smells because he plays football and he sweats so bad and is so gross, and boys are gross. And like,
Yes.
and but like he's doing something that he loves and he's passionate about, right? Like my other son wants to knock everything over like it's bowling because we've poured into something that he loves and he's passionate about. And man, switching the lens on that, like, whew, that has been probably my biggest takeaway today, right? It's not
Mm.
really, is it really that I was so mad? Or is it that I wanted better for you and I didn't feel heard and I didn't feel seen and I didn't feel, and I like, it really is, I was so hurt. I was so hurt because I care so much. I was so hurt because we invested so much money.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great that's a great point. Yeah. And it always with my conversations with you, Becky, I always feel like they're therapy, right? Like it's free therapy, for sure for me. But I also feel like this podcast gives us such an opportunity to also talk, just talk these things out and
Yeah.
feel through them and kind of just realize what is behind the anger, or
Mhm.
what is causing fear, or what is the
Yeah.
nature of the hurt. And it's so important. It's so important. The healing work that I've done, which has been quite a bit now, um, it continues to surprise me when I give myself a chance to
Mm,
process. You said
right.
this earlier, Becky. Processing is so important.
Hmm.
Um, because my initial reaction, and we've talked about reaction versus response, but in this case with my daughter, this was certainly a reaction. Um, the reaction was so big and so intense energetically, right? There's no chance that you are going to process
Hmm.
in that time
No.
and
Yeah.
space. There is no chance.
Nope.
I had a full blown spin out. This is a Beckyism too. Spinning out is the term, which is so, it's so true. It's so right on that in the moment I'm spinning out and having a big reaction, I am not learning anything, and there is no way that I am going to get to the heart of the matter. There is no way
Yes.
that I am going to dial in what's really going on. I have
Hmm.
to step out of that. I have to go shift into something else. I had to, for
Hmm.
example, what I did was I went for a walk. Walking is one of my favorite ways to shift. I got out of the house and I said, peace, I'm leaving, bye. Like I didn't talk to anybody, I didn't see anything, I didn't address any of the other to-dos I had. I just left
Yeah.
to go to go shift out of that.
Can we just acknowledge that growth though? Like that's so big, right?
uh,
Because like would you have done that a year ago? Would you have done that 6 years ago? Would you have done that right? Like,
no.
man, like healing is hard work, guys. Like, and I don't care how perfect your life was, everybody has stuff to heal from,
Mm-hmm.
right? And our own stuff is big. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. It doesn't matter if it's different than somebody else's. It doesn't matter if somebody had a more traumatic or a better, like it that we it's ours. It is ours and it is real and it is big and it is
Yeah.
that and that's okay, right? And that is I think it's important that you recognize that.
Oh,
Like
thank you.
even if you're like, I'll let everything else go, right? I think sometimes we feel like we have to quantify it. Like, oh, I have to go on a walk and that meant this. But like, who I saw what was most important for me at that time was stepping away so I could reintegrate back in
Yes.
and be able to
Yes.
shift. And like,
Yes.
good Lord, people, if more of us did that consciously in the world, right? And instead of being like, I'm sorry, or the dishes didn't get done because of this or that, or any of that, like if we are
Mm-mm.
just like, oh, I need to take 10 minutes to be me so I can show up as the best me in 10 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Like I need to focus on me for 10 minutes. How would our world look different
Yeah.
instead of powering through? So I'm super proud of your growth.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you seeing me. I, it was it. I chose me in that moment. I said, you know what? No, I don't want to spin out. I don't want to feel awful. I don't want to scream. I don't want to get in her face and cuss at her. Like I don't want, all I don't want that.
Mhm.
I choose inner peace. I choose me. I choose the most authentic version of me. Because and the way that I get her back is I remove myself from the
Mhm.
situation and I
Yeah.
go out and I ground, or I whatever it is for you. And I came back, and I'm not going to say I felt amazing when I came back. I didn't. I didn't feel amazing, but I wasn't spinning out anymore. And I was in a place where I could make a new choice,
Mm.
right?
Yes.
But I wouldn't say I was totally reset, but it was a big improvement over
Yeah.
where I was. And it just it's I continue to resist the processing up front in the moment, because I'm like, I just want to be mad. But the truth is, the sooner I process, the sooner I let that, I stop holding, clenching my fists and stop holding that. The sooner I do, the sooner I start processing, the faster I can move through, the faster the truth
Mm.
comes. Which in this case, the truth, and I shared this with you a little bit, Becky, and we almost got there earlier in the episode, but it didn't quite come out this way. And I want to make sure I say it really clearly. What happened was, in that experience with my daughter, is I the nature of my hurt and my anger is that I have wounded parts around my teeth.
Mhm.
And I I prioritized my daughter's perfect teeth because I never had them.
Mm.
And see, this emotion that's coming up for me right now is so important because I'm not actually mad at her. I wanted to be, but I'm not actually mad. I'm It doesn't mean she didn't make a bad decision, but the truth of the whole dynamic is that there's hurt in here. It's internal, not external.
Mm.
But until you, mm, yeah, I would have never, Becky, I would have never gotten there 2 years ago.
Mhm.
Nope, you saw,
Mhm.
you can vouch for this. I was just an angry monster for days. I would ruminate, I would hold on to things, and I would blame, I would hold grudges, I would do all the things. I had all the tricks in my bag of tricks, ladies. And guess what? None of that's helpful.
Mm.
It's not helpful. And you know what? It's important that I say this as well. Other people are going to do wrong things. Other people are going to do things you don't agree with.
Mhm.
And it's not about you changing or you getting better. It's not about equivalence. It's not about 50-50. Well, they did this wrong thing to me, so I'm not
Mm.
going to heal, or I'm not going to grow, or I'm not going to accept, or I'm not going to let them, right? It's not
Mhm.
about equivalence. It's about I can't even come up with the word, Becky, but I see you nodding. It's not a competition. It's not a competition, and it I've struggled with the feeling of, well, I just have to accept, well, I just have to allow, well, it's all on me. I've experienced that sort of victim mentality um as I've been working through things, and it's not about one person doing more than the other person or about that other person's wrongdoing. It's about being able to move on and live your best life.
Mm.
It's about allowing.
It's authenticity, really. Like it really is. It's about mm, I am so glad you brought this up because I was like, I want to talk about the half-hearted. Like I laughed so hard when I was like the half-hearted sorry, like a magic eraser.
Yeah.
Then when I was like taking my notes before this, I got a little smacked in the face because I, as a recovering people pleaser, say I'm sorry all the time. And listen, I'm actually cognizantly aware of that. And I say it way less than I used to. And I still say it all the damn time.
Yeah.
Right. Like, and so, and, and as a recovering people pleaser for me, and this is a tide, I promise, but it is that like it's my trauma
Mm.
response.
Mm.
Right? It's, oh gosh, it feels uncomfortable and I have to make it better and I don't know how and I'm sorry. Right? It's little girl Becky, just like it was little girl Lacey,
Yeah.
right? Who's like, I just I just want to be loved. I just want to be accepted. I just want to feel seen. I just wanted this. And so I'm going to do whatever I have to do that, right? Like, this is I didn't feel, and I'm not saying these are your words, right? So this just was coming up for me, but like I didn't feel pretty, or I felt
Mm-hmm.
embarrassed, or I
Yeah.
this or that.
Oh yeah.
And of course, like I said, we want something better for our kids, but like even I'm like, oh my gosh, the reason they give me half-hearted sorries is because I say I'm sorry all the damn time.
Oh my. Woo.
And I like just got full on goosebumps. So I know that that is what I'm supposed to say, right? But I hate, I'm like, sorry is not a band-aid. That's what I tell my kids all the time. I'm like, I'm sorry means I'm going to make a conscious effort to do it different.
Yes.
So if you're not going to make a conscious effort to do it different, don't say that. But am I showing up like that? Is little girl
Mm,
Becky showing
mm,
up like that? That was
mm.
big for me because sorry
Uh-huh.
doesn't fix it. It's our actions behind I'm sorry that fix it. And
Yeah.
so let's put the magic eraser away, ladies, because I
Yeah.
think a lot of, especially women in our generation, do that same thing, the
Mm,
I'm sorry thing. Like,
that's
right?
interesting. It's funny. I have the opposite problem, Becky. I don't say I'm sorry. Mm-mm.
Yeah. No,
No,
I do
matter of
all the
fact,
time.
I don't. Matter of fact, I don't say it probably when I should say it.
Yeah.
But no, I don't. I guess I'm an odd bird. I don't have that problem. But my God, it felt so empty though when my daughter said that to me.
Right.
When I was
And
holding that $6,600 investment in my hand,
mm,
and
yeah.
she says, "I'm sorry, mom. Like I don't know what else you want me to say. I'm sorry, mom." Well,
Right.
guess what? You don't have the opportunity for behavior change,
Mm, yeah.
but I can also feel your insincerity, and that
Yeah.
sucks. You know.
Right. And people, like you said, Lacey, are gonna, like, whether it's our kids or whether it's our friends or whether it's this or whether it's that, doesn't matter if it's Bob the Builder on the side of the road. People are gonna show up like that in our lives. And that doesn't mean that we don't process and we don't work through it. Like, let's get past the compartmentalizing that we've been taught our whole damn lives and actually face the issues to show up as our best selves, like you were said. Like, it's hard work, but do you know what? You're worth it. You are worth hard work.
Yeah.
And the saying, like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks is bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
It's bullshit. Like, you can change if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
You can evolve. You can grow. You can heal if you want to.
Yeah.
But
And
nobody else
it's
can do that for you.
yes.
And we can't do it for our kids. But what we
Mm.
can do is model it.
Yeah. Yeah. And you're so right, Becky. And I just it it isn't fun
Mm,
sometimes, and it isn't supposed
no.
to be fun. Like I'm sitting here crying on a podcast. Like that's not supposed to happen. Like that's not what I wanted. That's not, but that's real.
Yeah.
And that's the work.
Mm, yes.
And allowing that to come up and out, allowing those words to be spoken, showing up with tears on YouTube.
Yep.
For those of you watching us on YouTube, is it's necessary for growth.
Mm,
It's a part.
yeah.
It's a part of the growing, and
Yeah.
it's so worth it. It's so worth it. I understand the layers of life so much better than I ever did before at
Mm,
46 years old because of this work I've done. And I think and I know there's more work ahead, and I'm on fire for it. I
mm,
crave it because I see how far I've come.
yeah.
And that
Yeah.
doesn't mean perfect by any stretch of the imagination.
Mm-mm.
Just saying.
No. Yeah.
Yeah. Insincere apologies. Ooh,
Ooh,
yeah.
yeah.
That was in my notes. Yeah. Oh, there's just about nothing worse than that.
Yeah. But
Mm.
yeah. I had some. I think we'll probably have more episodes on that topic alone
Yeah, that
because
is another topic.
I'm
You're
like,
right.
whoo, that feels really big. That feels really big.
You're
So
right.
I
Mm.
like. I also want to say something. Lacey, that you said that like that. that triggered something for me. I think as we heal and as we grow and as we get older and as like even if you're not like let's say doing the work consciously, right?
Yeah.
And I like that's not me calling anybody out, so please know that because I think that like we're naturally working even if we don't recognize it, right? But like even if you're not consciously doing the work, there is evolution still um in most people, right? And I'll just say like our feelings and that it's funny because I always come back to anger, right? And I know I mentioned that earlier, but let me explain what I mean. I was given the most beautiful compliment from a very, very dear friend of mine. On Mother's Day, we were messaging back and forth, and she said, "You were the mom I aspire to be."
Oh,
And
beautiful.
I was like, but you know that instantly where my brain went was to the unhealed parts of me. It was to
Mm.
the mom who blew up because the lights weren't working. It was to those like very human moments where I showed up very human,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm like, "Oh, but you don't even know." Right? And for the mom who's feeling that today, for the mom who is so mad, and maybe you're not at a point where you can process it, and maybe you're not this and you're not that. Like if you can't do anything else, lock yourself in the bathroom and pretend like you're pooping for 2 minutes, right? And truly see yourself through somebody else's eyes,
Mm. And
right?
cry and
And
cry,
cry.
release
Yeah.
whatever you need to do,
Or
right? Like,
scream or like whatever that is, right? Like I know Lacey, you said you go for walks. I turn on Wicked and I sing it at the top of my lungs. And my
yes,
kids know if I put my headphones on and I'm singing Wicked, like do not mess with mom. Like
you defy gravity in
yeah,
your
I
own
do.
little bubble.
and and that's that's silly and that's my way, but like seriously, you're doing a good job. And
Mhm.
this one moment, even if it happens more than once, it is not the thing that defines you. It is not the thing that defines you as a person, and it is definitely not the thing that defines you as a parent,
Mhm.
right? Raising kids is hard.
Mm. Mhm.
We are constantly challenged. And those little mini me's like can push us in completely different ways because we do truly see ourselves in them. And because we want to give them the world. So, for the mom who is so mad today, it's okay. It's
Mhm.
okay to be mad. I think like we
Yes.
need to normalize that. That is a anger is a normal feeling, right? What's not okay is to hold it. So if you find yourself holding it, let's find a way to shift. And like you said, Lacey, it's not about like, oh, I went for a walk and I came back and it was Snow White's village again, right? That's not it. Guys, when we say shift, it is literally being able to move enough that you can have a different perspective.
Yes.
It is
Yes.
it is I call it pivoting a lot, like,
Yes.
like in
Pivoting.
basketball
Yes.
where like the one foot is still stuck in it, but you can turn just a little to see a different
Yes.
view. It's
Oh,
not sunshine and rainbows and healed and I don't feel like this anymore. And it's okay that you didn't wear your retainer, that you didn't have lights in your room for weeks. Like it's not that. It is saying like, "Ooh, I recognize that this may be something that's bigger than that." Right? I
mhm.
recognize that. And so let's, and that doesn't mean that you still don't have feelings,
Yes.
but it does mean that now that you have a different perspective, that maybe you can reach for something to help you process that. So,
Yes. And Becky, I love that. I have goosebumps all over my body right now. That was so amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And I just also want to add, and I think we'll wrap up with this, celebrate every shift, every
mhm.
pivot, every time you do that or
Yes.
realize you've done that. Celebrate you. Take praise yourself for that effort and
Yes.
and that connection to who you truly are and who you want
Mm-hmm.
to be. It's every time you see her and
Mm-hmm.
celebrate her doing those things, the easier and easier it becomes.
Yes.
And I think that's all for today. Thanks for
Yes.
being with us. Until
Have
next
a great
time.
day.